And then when it comes to digital, you wouldn't believe the amount of things that don't occur or would allow to occur in the wheelhouse of you at the threshold. And I say this is because with digital usages and credit cards, these magnetic strips, chips on cars, when you can't use money inside of a business, and during a state of emergence, they say you can't use money during, and you would have to be in a digital card. So, and you would say, but not in a million years would this ever occur. And I got to tell you, straight off the bat, they're splicing these diseases in those labs where it wouldn't occur in nature naturally for hundreds of millions of years. But it is the exact thing, that rarity that they're looking at to combine these. And these are called cleavage sites and a chimera. And, you know, the oddities of this occurring is that, and then they say, it's out from the forest, it came out of the forest. This is climate changes, but the same places are destroying the earth. And I'm not saying this to be like a savior of the recycling, or I don't even know. Before Obama left, they said we're spraying barium salts and aluminum inside the atmosphere. They have to tell you, or else it's not looked at with them doing something that they shouldn't be. They'll do something that they shouldn't be doing properly. And they're combining it in jet fuel. The operation. And then they're say coupling it with radiation. Who would think of this? The Obama administration. I was describing what animals do to stimulate themselves with their what they're born to do, you know, with antlers or tusks or a strong backbone. So like when a collective of animals, the heat signatures are so important in the animal kingdom. If you're going to go ahead and look at bees, they like do this swarming hive around something and they make a ball and they keep moving, so they heat it up. Like Tom Hanks with the sticks, rubbing it back and forth to make a fire, they ignite the thing in the middle. Ants, they do a whirlpool spiral where the threat, they go around it and they try and make it fall over so then they can pig pile it. And so when it's not falling over, I saw in this one speaker, it saw it as a threat because there's radiation coming out of it. And so they're going around and around in a circle, like more and more like symmetric to make it fall over. But the thing is, a speaker, there's no amount of time that'll make it fall over. So they didn't know what they were up against. Other things that are circulatory, I said like there's like these cocoons, and then worms don't have hair, so they would do a coil, a human in a fetal position. You do this to get warm or protect yourself if a bear is attacking you. Guard your neck, folks. Guard your neck. In the movie Shrek, he grabs a snake, and his lung of a snake, he blows into its mouth like CPR. The snake's chest inflates and it rises like a balloon. Now that part is cartoonish, but the more that you can curtail like the anatomy features, what would work and what would be explosive, even though a lot of cartoonish is explosive, you would rather not be in this separate fold. When there's like a centerfold of these genealogies of like a handful of them, and they explain how much you're going to be like into the different categories of like seeing where your ancestors came from. This is like of how much you're willing to pay to see like your genealogy report. This is like more in the lines of technology, and it is like that's one side, and then the other side is coupling how much you're going to be wanting to trust in AI. And it doesn't really matter if like you're not sold. Like there's the same as a threshold in these major companies that have the Google and Facebook. Do you trust them with their research in AI? At the Pentagon, their research in AI, and it's like the same cartoonish threshold where like if you don't buy into it, and then it doesn't matter. But then in the state of emergencies where they shut down the locations from state to state so you can't pass, there's like one benchmark where it's met and it's over the top. So if they can tell you where to go and then what you can buy and not sell, buy or sell when stores are closed and non-essentials, and then what to think if you're always like in a panic state from social distancing. If you get all these three benchmarks, then you're in closing the gap of like your ancestry to like sell it out as a commodity. And ooh, this Quinns is cold AF. Ooh. This is what the worms are missing, this cocoon-like behavior found in nesting. Sure, because its backdrop is lighter than its forefront, so it sticks out like a sore thumb. People, these things in cocoons where an animal would get nestled to get its body heat, those pods. These worms are suffering, I guess, the cold spell. And that's the important part. In cartoon-like behavior, when it's in real life, this is how this is where I think the comic book movies, they jumped the gun. They blew their load too early. It's movies with the Mask, Jim Carrey, cartoon into a movie. The movie is now cartoon-like, and you can get away this behavior with humans if the anatomy fits, the glove fits. So Shrek doing this to a snake, it makes perfect sense. Is where you get at the brink of rupturing, where then it is reality. But if you can find a place, and this is in anatomy is specific how you do it with cartoons, because they're always finding the edge of reality when it comes to body autonomy. Self-aggrandizing behavior, and that's the word I couldn't think of yesterday. What does it mean? It has to be in terms of blank. And so when you're incorporating all these things together, it's no wonder Shrek found a fitting special effect with the snake balloon looking like a hot dog balloon. This leads me to believe what a symphonic is. There's symphonics and then there's harmonics. The difference of the two is one is just a broad explanation of sound. The other one is it in design, form, and function to fit the design. A different thing of pageantry. This would be my catwalk, the Walk of Fame, where I would take this to avoid wind blowing hard, to achieve a light that doesn't make shadows encompass my face on camera. And no, this is noteworthy because the sun rising that way is illuminating small hints. And I wouldn't know this unless I vlogged a lot, but this is making for the doubling of light. The light fixtures inside are getting hit with, oh, I don't know, at the brink right there, this morning light. So it's making this pop with the doubling effect. And this is what we were mentioning the other day, is the candlelight effect in physics is known as the square root principle. Anything you see, and this is why big in black holes, information is conserved, though at the same time at length, it's distorted. So in a black hole, as something's falling into it, you see its backside. It's going to actually be a freeze frame. Forget that part. Pretend you're looking beyond the freeze frame. No, really, like a copy machine. If you stick your face on there, it prints out a picture of a flat piece of your face. What will be stuck on the surface of a black hole's event horizon, like Peter Pan's shadow, where he's trying to sew it onto him. It's like a physical property, but it's actually there. I'm referring to beyond that. If you could look past that in this situation, as extreme as it may be, you would see a body getting spaghettified, and this is where it's like stick something in a blender. That on steroids is by every atom that's getting split in half, and I don't know if it's halves, people, but the strength behind this, it might as well be. Reference to Half-Life, another talk we had yesterday. They're getting blended up. It's called spaghettification, and so this is where a jumble of stuff, and this would be at a maximum capacity. If you've ever seen someone at a distance so far away that they look more and more like a dot the further and further they go away from you, this is closer and closer to the depiction of a spaghettification that you would be seeing in a person. If you could look past their image stuck on the event horizon, just a smear glimpse of a spaghettification would be the same thing as the information at a length distortion of a person walking further away from you.